Alright, so here's a little tip for you guys out there that I learned a while back. So I have a friend that gave me this multimeter, and it's actually a big meter. I compare it to my Gowit's one that I got. This one is a see if I can get this shit camera in range here. Cen-Tech P35017. Seems to work. So what I did is the battery lead on this, as you can see, was corroded, crunchy, falling apart. No, oh, that'd be actually positive lead on there. No positive lead. So what I did is I clipped the wires here. Turn up my lamp here so it's easier to see. So I was thinking about, removing this, whatever the hell that is. It looks like they put some heat shrink over that already. So it's going to need some heat shrink anyway. But makes me wonder if maybe that was repaired at one point. But they have it soldered directly into the board. So it makes me wonder if maybe there's like a thermal fuse or something in there that they put on purpose from the factory. So I wasn't about to clip that out. Otherwise I could have just, removed the entire board. But then we got the issue with the selector switches. Is always a bitch because the little metallic parts fall out, the little copper pieces, and then you have to rearrange it all again. So I'm like, oh, let's make this easy. It's an old meter anyways. Let's just get this old beast up and running. It's auto-ranging. It seems like a good meter. So what I did is I clipped the leads. I found some wires, as can be seen. And I'm just going to tin those with some solder here, and I'm going to put some heat shrink around them. And then there's another thing I'm going to do. So you can see the 9-volt battery that's destroyed. This battery only tested like about 2-3 volts. So, a little tip I learned from Shingo 66 or something. I'll give it a link in the YouTube. Cool guy. He works on old radios and stuff, and I learn a lot of stuff from him. So if you rip open a modern 9-volt battery, what you're going to find is a bunch of these. No, those aren't bullets. Those are, well, the color's right. These are, wouldn't you guess it, AA batteries. Just most off-brand, nothing on them, AA batteries. They stuck 6 of them in there, which of course 1.5 volts times that would be 9-volt battery. And here's a good one. I do still trust Energizer somewhat. More of a radio vac fan myself. Can't find the batteries like you used to nowadays. Anyway, so when you rip a battery apart like this, I took my cutters like that and went around the entire base of the battery. And then this popped out. Completely clean, right? You don't have to worry about acid being on there or anything that's going to burn your hands. That literally just sat on top. In between that was this little cardboard piece, which is basically like a, you can see the 2 tabs right there for the top of this. And that would sit down on the batteries and make the full connection across the batteries to put them in series. I think series is the right word. I always confuse parallel and series. Hope I'm not wrong. Anyway, so that's how you get 1.5 volts times 6 and 9-volt battery. That's just a shell. That's all it is. So anyways, why did I do this? Because this did not have a 9-volt clip. Somebody cut it out. I don't know if they were like me when I was younger and I just wanted 9-volt clips for projects. I got smart. Why even do that? Just take your old 9-volt batteries that run dead, pop these out, put some flux on. I already got flux on there. I got my soldering iron heated. I'm going to warm up the flux, put some solder on, and solder them right to these. After first soldering the connections and putting some heat shrink tubing over it. It'll be like new. So there you are. I'd show more info, but I mean, this is a pretty obvious video. If anybody wants to do this, I just want to give this tip that you can literally scrap a 9-volt battery, an old 9-volt battery for the clip. Otherwise, you have to hit Radio Shack nowadays. Good luck finding one. Ooh. That solder joint's going to be a pain in the butt. A little fat. No. Might as well use red for positive. A little bit wire. Damn my shaky hands. Okay. Get on there. Get around that solder joint. Bastard. Okay. And here's what we do to those. Where the hell's my lighter? There's the lighter. Yeah, because fire is cool. Let's do this right. Okay. This is how heat shrink works. I use my soldering iron too, but fuck it. Burn my finger here. Well, maybe I should have just used my soldering iron. Normally, this would work, but of course, in the camera. So I'll put my soldering tip against it. It's supposed to shrink. Actually, this is working way better. There we go. Look at that. That's how you wires together the proper way. Not that bullshit with electrical tape. That's how the pros do it. Heat shrink. Yeah, soldering works. Soldering iron works way better. There we go. Now these are nice, snug. Let's get our connector out. Gotta realize the big one is actually, positive from the 9 volts opposite, so that'll be positive. So let's tie positive right to there. Oh, let's see, I need some more flux. Never have enough flux. Okay. Sure I got the right one here. Just gonna let that sit, maybe put the pliers on there so it doesn't move. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just, an old multimeter we're working on. Hopefully that won't seep all the way through. Nope, looks good. Okay, and then negative. Same thing. Flux on that wire right there. Pop it down into the hole. Something like that. Sure. As long as you say it's put. Yeah. Fucker. Okay. Sorry, my language. Hold that just for a second. Okay. We have our 9 volt connector. Simple as that. Sure I got it right. So let's pop our battery on, see if we got a meter. Let's see. Okay, so here's where we are at with our meter. We got a 9 volt connector on there from a spare battery. We used, sorry for the camera, we used proper heat shrink to seal the wires to the originals, because I don't know what's underneath that thing and I don't want to find out. Hope it's not like some kind of fuse or something. I don't know if that's even original, but whatever. The wires are soldered to the board, and I didn't want to remove all of this to resolder, so I'd rather resolder to the wires themselves after clipping them, because this thing is, you know, there's a reason why somebody didn't want this anymore. So, we're all set. Let's plug a battery in, shall we? I don't know if I can do this one-handedly. I'm going to try. This is another Energizer battery. We love our Energizers around here, don't we? Would you look at that? Somebody's old meter. It's working again. I think this might need to be calibrated, or maybe the dial actually might need to be cleaned, because we tested this, my friend and I tested this on my power supply here, and that seemed to work, but on the ohm setting, it wasn't measuring resistance until I kind of took the dial and did that. You can see it's kind of, yeah. So eventually I'm going to probably have to pull this board off. There's a thing we use for this, though. A proper tool for the job. If I can find it here. Oh God. I have that one cupboard where nothing wants to come out, right? This stuff right here is what you need. Deoxit. I have the fader control stuff. This works on pretty much anything. It's expensive as hell, though. A bottle of this, it's like 17 bucks nowadays. Not cheap. So, yeah, little squirts, just little itty bitty squirts. You know, you make sure you use what will work, because you don't want to run through this stuff too soon. I'm going to probably take the entire control board off and spray underneath there. It should probably be a good meter again. I mean, check this out. I've never seen one of these before. It's a P35017 Cen-Tech. It came with a nice, real nice rubber body with a, you know. I thought this meter was pretty cool. This was like probably $30, $40 meter on Amazon. I like this meter a lot, and I have covered an old Radio Shack one too. One of my original meters from when I was younger and I worked on electronics. One of the first auto ranging meters I ever owned. Once you go auto ranging on multimeters, you never go back. So we're gonna have to test this thing out. Maybe there'll be another video involved with this. Maybe a calibration video. That'd be kind of cool, huh? So yeah. See how if I can manage to edit this stuff together this time. The last time this camera and my video editing software does not like to work out quite well. Here's just a little tip I learned. I was trying to think how I was going to cover that electrical tape. So I have heat shrink, whole box here full of different sizes, and I have some larger sizes of heat shrink. So I'm thinking, how are we gonna get this battery connector done, huh? So I got an idea. Let's see here. Got a knife that can go through it. See if this works. Oop. Might have cut too much. Okay, well, look at that. Let's heat it up. You know, it's gonna break. I might find out. Where's my letter? Ah, damn fan. Ah, it's blowing my letter. Okay. Try this here. Well, it looked like it shrunk some. Oh yeah. That'll heat up a little bit more. Almost like an original connector. And if I'm really worried about the wires, I can fill it up with some glue. That's still really hot. That heat shrink is still going to shrink. It's going to be just like a normal 9-volt connector on this thing. So, I think that's a pretty cool tip for anybody who needs a 9-volt connector. Rip open an old 9-volt. You're not going to hurt yourself. Save some bucks.